Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Free Flame Thoughts. Today, I have a very special guest who goes by the name of Georgina Rose, otherwise known as the Sacred Feminine Priestess. I'm so excited. Hi, Georgina. I'm about to bring you in. Hi, Anne-Marie. Hi, Chi-Chi. So we're about to bring Georgina in now. Oh, something in my eye. Hi.
Hello.
How are
Woo,
you?
woo, woo.
Exactly that. Exactly that. So pumped to speak to you. And you're so punctual. Wow, I love it.
I know
Okay, so
I am punctual actually.
whilst we have a few people taking their time to come on, let's just thank those who has come on. Good evening to you, Chi and Anne-Marie. Not to worry who comes on and who doesn't, because this gets saved and people can watch it over the days and we'll see all those viewing numbers go up. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm just in it.
I so love your energy. It's all I keep saying to you. I love your energy, yeah? Okay, so I'm going to start off by asking you, how has your day been?
Mm, it's been good. It's been good. Actually, I'll show you who I bought today.
Where did you get that from?
It's David as a Christmas decoration.
Where did you get it from?
I got it from the shops because it's the first day that the shops have reopened
Oh,
in
oh yeah.
Glastonbury and I don't know, generally everywhere. And
Oh wow.
he was hanging out in the window, and I was like, oh my God.
Are you a fan of him? Oh, that's lovely. You found a little home for him. Oh, that's cute. First day back at shopping. Okay, so all right. So welcome everyone. Whatever comments you leave, we'll find moments in between our chit chats, and we'll go back and read your comments. In the meanwhile, I'd like to start off by asking you, Georgina, how has your day been? So you started off shopping. You bought David.
Been good. I've been around because I'm in Glastonbury. For those of you who don't know, Glastonbury's quite a place. There's a lot of energy here. So I was walking around the Abbey. I went to the Mary Magdalene Church. I've been outside. I've been connecting. And yeah, it's been a good day. I like it when I'm outside. I'm an outside nature person.
You're outdoor type of person, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to start off this talk by, of course, double welcoming you to Free Flame Thoughts. It's a total pleasure. I'm going to start off by saying how I came across you. Yeah, okay, so I came across Georgina on a post. You know, I was minding my own business, I thought, yeah, on Facebook drifting, and came across a really intriguing post with you and Eva. And I thought to myself, who are these ladies? They just seem so free-spirited. There's so much love energy. That's just what I got. So much warmth, love energy, sisterhood, and just, I was very much captivated. And I thought I have to message them both and invite them both on my live and have a talk about who they are, what they do, and what are their passions. So I got to you first, and here you are. So let's start by asking, who is Georgina?
Oh my gosh, Georgina, she's vast. Think of Mother Nature and how unpredictable Mother Nature is, and that's a picture of me. I have a lot of creative energy. I would say I'm a creative at core, at heart, and that guides me into lots of different places. But I'm also a truth seeker.
Oh, that's me. So let's stick with the creative side for a little while. What type of things do you like to create? What pulls you most? What are you passionate about in the creative realm?
Well, so sound, music.
Oh, I'm going to get there with you.
Yeah, I work with sound. I used to perform a lot in London. That's kind of how I started off my music. And that sort of took a little sideline. And I went and trained as a sound healer in Bali in Indonesia.
Amazing.
Singing bowls, which I'll show you.
That's so amazing.
That's one of the, I mean, sound, using my voice, singing, toning, bringing that energy in. I'm always so excited about sound and music and words.
I came across a video of yours and I was at work. I think I left a comment.
Yeah.
And I said to my colleagues, look at this amazing spirit. And they're like, where's that noise coming from? I said, it's her. She sounds like a sound bowl, like a healing, because you was like, ooh. And I was like, she sounds like those who know what the healing bowl, a sound bowl, or Tibetan bowl is. You actually mimic that exact sound, that exact pitch. Like, did you train in that?
Yeah, well, that's what I did with my singing bowls. I trained as a sound healer with the singing bowls, but because I'm a singer and musician, when you know that language, you know that language.
Mm-hmm.
So through working with those bowls, my voice, I can tune in and I can tone. And it's just, yeah, it's just a riffing kind of thing that I like to do, but it's also I use it in my healing. So I use my voice as an instrument.
That's amazing. So that's more of the creative side. I'm going to speak to you a lot more a little bit later on about your healing bowl and what that means to you. I'm still at the point of discovering who you are. So myself and the audience can say, okay, this is how we encapsulate this individual, how we describe her. So an outdoor person, you appreciate sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's the creative side of you. How else would you describe Georgina?
I also love to dance and move. I'm a colourful character. I love clothes.
Oh,
I
say the
love
least.
the little
Absolutely.
feather in the back here. I'm playful as well. And I'm just quite excited about life, actually.
That's so nice. It's so
I
nice.
just I'm inspired by people and places and beauty and architecture and fashion, all things really. I kind of just bring it all in together.
You sound a lot like me.
Yeah, I know. I think that's why we get on. I think that's why
You
we
really, really,
captivate.
really so captivated by your energy. It's amazing. Okay, so how would you describe yourself as a child?
Okay, this is a good one because that's probably who I am now.
And while you're thinking about that, I'll just let the viewers who's also sharing comments know that we're not ignoring you. We're going to come back in between our chit chats and read all your comments and whatever else you want to ask Georgina. So tell me, I want to get into who you describing yourself, and perhaps then you can go on to how your parents describes you.
Yeah.
Because every parent says what their children were like when they were young. So how do you think that you were as a child? How would you describe yourself?
I was very whimsical. So if you think of
Mm.
Pocahontas, that was me as a child. I was running through
It's what they call me now when I have my hair in bunches, by the way.
There's another parallel between you and I there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very in touch with nature, outdoors. We grew up on I grew up on a farm, so I was outside, and I was just joyful. I was just connected to nature, and I just loved being out in nature and lying on the grass and just all the kind of just the free things. I'm very free
Mm.
spirited, and yeah, that's how I was. I'm very happy child.
I was going to ask you if you was a happy child. You've answered that next question for me.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say you use the word free spirited, because when I made your promo video, that's exactly what I called you.
Yeah. You saw it
Wow.
immediately, though. That's what you said about, oh, you're so
Straight
free.
away. And my colleagues were like, oh my God, I love her spirit. I said, exactly. Yeah, I said, exactly. Okay, so what would you say your favorite childhood memory is, or was, should I say? Is or was, whichever suits you. Like, what would you say as you were a happy child, whether it was a happy moment or not? Was there in the midst of that journey where you could say was your most favorable moment that sits with you now as an adult?
Singing, like singing outside. I would sing for
Wow.
hours, and I'd go out into the fields, and because where we live, there's just endless fields around.
Wow.
So I
I
would
would
just
love
go
it.
out and I would just sing. And I would just sing out, to nature. And I spent a lot of time on my own, which
Yeah.
I enjoyed, actually.
But would you say then you are equally a people's person as you are someone who loves solitude and stillness? And so
Yeah.
we are very much. I think we're twins from different parents. That's what's going on right now.
Probably. I'm an introvert
Wow.
and an extrovert, probably at the same amount. So
I
I
want,
love being out and connecting with people, but I really need that alone time, and I really need that kind of downtime where I can just hang out by myself and
that like grounding, so to
yeah,
speak.
in nature, walking quietly. Don't need to always be kind of busying my mind. I like to have that peaceful time.
Wow, sounds a lot like me again. Okay, so you were born in Wiltshire. Is that how I pronounce it? In Wiltshire. What was that like? Tell me a bit about what the atmosphere is like.
So I was only there for 2 years of my life, so I can't really say. So
So you was really young.
In Wiltshire, and then we moved to Suffolk. So that's in East Anglia. So then we moved to to the farm that I grew up on. So I was only there for 2 years, but it's an amazing place. If anyone hasn't been to Salisbury Cathedral, it's an incredible place. There's a really great energy. Again, it's quite magnetic. There are quite a few places like that in England, really. But yeah, Salisbury Cathedral is lovely.
So you were quite young. You were quite young when you moved there, and when you moved away, then. So don't really remember much about it.
No, but it's funny because I'm around here now, and I have been back since, and I love it. I feel really at home in Wiltshire. So it's like, maybe I'll live there, or maybe not at some point.
Wow.
But I do love
we're gonna talk about all your wonderful moving and living in forests very soon. I'm gonna have a climax. We're gonna have a climax in this conversation. So I whilst being on your page, everyone that I talk to, or whether I invite them, whether they invite themselves, I like to have a little snoop on their page and encapsulate, embody the essence of who I think they are, or what they're trying to, what the trail of storyboard they're sharing on their page. And what stood out to me was, firstly, your picture post where you say, you know, free your wild feminine. And you've got this gorgeous picture where you're standing like this, and it's quite, tell me about that. What is this unwinding of the woman and free your wild feminine? Tell me about that. What does that mean to you?
So that's the essence of who you are as a woman. So it's the vast bigness of the wild. So it's the untamed expression that is not, you have to look like this, you have to dress like this, you have to speak like this to be acceptable. It's all about rewilding, is reclaiming your wild essence away from what you've been conditioned to show up as. So for me, it's also about coming back to kind of loving your wild self and loving your free self, and not needing anyone else to say you're good enough, I validate you. And that's exactly what my work is about, because that's been my journey kind of back to feeling, oh my God, I'm free. I don't need anyone to tell me I'm good enough. I feel connected to myself, and I feel connected to what I'm doing, and I feel connected to nature. And it's coming back to that wild essence of who you are.
It's funny you should say in regards to external approval, because I always say, and I'm going to do another talk on this at some point, how much really, no matter how old we are, whatever status someone has, just that yearning for external approval. And no matter whether they, you know, you're never too old for that hug or to be told that you can do it and have that encouragement, but there is a real dysfunctional yearn for other people's acceptance. And I say to myself, so I'm going to ask you to accept me while I don't accept myself. How does that work?
Yeah, exactly.
How does it work?
We don't accept ourselves. And that's where this work with self-acceptance is so important, because we have to go inward first. And this is all about the work that I do. It's about reconnecting with yourself, because that can continue, that validation, that need for approval will just keep going and going and going until you're at the end of your life and you're like, fuck, you know, I haven't accepted myself. I've just been waiting for other people to tell me I'm good enough. And maybe you want to do something brilliant that no one else knows, or no one else is going to approve of, because it's not their idea, it's not their job. It's your job to know you and to like really be bold. And that's also what I'm about, is boldly being yourself, and really, you know, knowing that is who you are, and that's who you came here to be.
This conversation for me is very empowering and very important, actually. Greetings, Elaine. Nice for you to join us. It's so lovely. And everyone else who's joined us, we're going to come back and read your comments. We appreciate you. I find this talk is very inspiring, because there's so much concealing of who we really are, hidden behind camouflage that we create, whether it's status, clothing, relationship status, wealth, makeup, everything. And it is important for us to, for me, when people say, you know, the whole self-love thing, I always say, nobody speaks of self-like. You don't get to love before you like. And I always say that I love myself in portions, because I'd be lying if I said I loved everything about me. That would mean that I need no change, I need no improvement. So I love myself in fractions, and the love is getting stronger. And I spent a lot of time having relationships with myself, dating myself, and I'm really comfortable with that. So I think that kind of embodies some of the things that you're talking about in regards to people. And often, as you know, everything starts from childhood.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter what family you lived in, rich or poor, black, white, mixed, there's always that essence of, depending on how you were nurtured, whether you was overwhelmed by affection, compliments, encouragement would play a big role in how you see yourself and treat others as an adult.
Yeah, big time. And you realize that the more you kind of grow, you're like, oh wow, I don't think that at all as well. Because when you start doing that inner work and realizing what your beliefs are, and going, I actually don't believe that about myself, that I'm not, you know, that I can't do it. If someone has told you, you know, a lot as a child, oh, you can't do it, you suddenly realize, actually I can. If you want to switch your narrative, that's up to you.
Exactly.
And you also have to accept what you have been dealt as well. And the only way that you can change that is accepting what you've dealt, you know, been dealt as a child. And yeah, it's a deep process, but that's how you're gonna really unwind from any trauma or victimhood.
That's very true. I think on that note, it's a lifetime journey.
Oh yeah,
it's an everyday process.
Yeah.
It's a real soul. It's a soul commitment. It really is a soul contract, and it's forever.
Yeah.
So tell us about, as you speak about the unwinding woman, and I see some of your, I'm actually I'm scrolling now, as there's so many interesting terms that I've noticed, like you say, the simple practice of, like, is it womb cleansing and all that? Talk to us about that. How do we go about this womb cleansing vibrational moment for ourselves? Tell us about that.
So the womb healing is about reclaiming your womb as a sacred space, because there's a lot of trauma that we as women and men, but I'm talking specifically about women, have held on to sexually from our ancestral line. For us, that have been treated badly, been raped, abused. You know, these are things that come in through our lineage, through our female line. And then also, as well as what we may have as women had to deal with in our lives if we've been abused or raped, you know, sexually abused, or also it's emotional, because we can store a lot of emotional unhealed trauma within our womb. So it's about clearing, it's about basically bringing intention and love and vibration with sound healing, and clearing the way for you to actually connect with your kind of vital creative energy. Because a lot of people who have been abused, there's a sense of being shut down in that creative energy, and it also affects your voice and being able to speak. It's so deep. It's like if you've had trauma, you're not able to actually speak for yourself, because there's a sense of being, you know, dominated. It's a really deep subject, but it's about reclaiming your sense of self and your power. Is you know, is deep, but it's beautiful.
So these are the workshops. So tell us, as you're on that note, share with us what you do in detail in the workshops that you do. And it surrounds all of this, doesn't it? So tell us a bit about what your first, I know you have like different, is it 5 sessions or is it the week that you do? Where do you start? So once you have these group of women that come to you, where does the work start?
So with this 7-week journey, we start at the root. So if you know about the chakras and the 7 chakra system, which are energy centers in our bodies, start at the root, which is at the base of your spine.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the womb, the belly, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown chakra. These are energy wheels, centers.
Yeah.
Spin. And when they're blocked, they're not energizing.
They're not flowing.
Yeah, they're not flowing. So that's when you can feel like, I'm not flowing, I'm stuck. There's something that's being held in your chakras. So what happens is we start at the root, and you always have to start at the root of everything.
Absolutely.
We clear out from that point. So there's a lot of sort of work that we do there with energy, shifting energy, and also with the women's circles. It's about coming together as women and not being head to head jealous of one another.
Exactly that.
Really, it's about having an open space where we all share, we show up as women, and we realize actually we have a lot of power when we come together, because we all have these stories, you know, we all have things we've been through, and when we hear one another, we don't feel alone. And that's what the sisterhood and the women's circles are all about. It's like,
it's amazing,
claiming power. And yeah, someone said about our wombs, I actually believe women don't believe that the fanny womb does not belong to them. It's really interesting, because we've been programmed to not think that, to not believe that we have a right to own our bodies and our sexuality, because
it's crazy. I think that sometimes stems from the cultural or religious perspective of where you come from. There are, you know, there's cultures and religious backgrounds where you don't belong to yourself. You're here to kind of get married by the age of 10 years old, and you're not even here to have a pleasure. So, you know, to pleasure that adult experience. Therefore, that's when circumcision comes into it for women, mutilation, and it goes on. So I think that's a lot to do with that as well.
Yes, that's deep. I mean, there's so
it's very deep.
much of the control of the woman, because we hold so much power, and that's really essentially what it comes down to. We give birth to life, that, you know, without us there is no life, you know. So we hold a lot of power, and it's been really manipulated and controlled for generations. Because
oh wow, so tell us, in regards to, you speak of the cleansing and empowerment and focusing on the embodiment of women and the womb clearing and cleansing based on trauma from the root chakra. Can you share with us some of the rituals that takes place in order to achieve this?
Yeah, so it's basically turning inwards. So we use meditation as a form of connecting back in with your body. So I guide you into connecting with different parts of your body so that you actually feel them, because most of us walk around not being in our body, and that's why we don't understand how to maintain our energies if we're not giving away our energy, or if we're not you know, we're not feeling like centered, we're not feeling grounded in ourselves. That's because we're not aware, because we're constantly thinking with our head. This life is being run by the mind. It's like just people walking around with their heads doing this and not actually being in their body. So a drop down into the body and start connecting through meditation and through breath as well. Because when you start to learn how to breathe properly, you also start to connect your body on a new level.
Yeah, so absolutely.
That's where I start with people, is breath, meditation, getting in touch with the body, and also walking them through visualizations as well, which is really powerful. Visualizing you clearing your energy centers through light and purification, and it depends on which chakra we're using, because the chakras each have a specific color that they go with. So root, say for example, root is red. So I would ask you to visualize, if we were clearing your root, a red light and a red color, and it would kind of in a circular motion. So basically you're doing the work, I'm just guiding you.
Yeah, it's basically color psychology as well, isn't it? Which is what I do, all that as well. How do you find after the 7 steps, what are the responses from the women you work with? How do they transition? What are the the positive or the negatives that you've seen from these women based on their individual journeys and traumas?
I mean, it's so exciting.
I'm thinking tears, stories, everything.
So funny.
Outbreaks in spots a lot.
I just had a message from a woman just before we came on saying, I just totally learned how to love myself again, and I feel completely renewed. I feel like a completely different person. I don't, even recognize the person I was before. And because it's so deep, because it's 7 weeks and you're committing to something, and also committing to yourself for 7 weeks is a big thing.
Absolutely.
Not to commit to yourself, isn't it? It's like when you go to the gym and you're like, I'm committed to doing this, you see the results. So it's a similar thing. If you commit to that 7 weeks, and people just really change, they get really more empowered in their bodies. That's a common theme. It's like, I feel like strong, I feel ready, I feel more creative, I know what I'm doing, I feel centered. And there's been a lot that comes up each week for people, and it's not like it's just an easy breeze, because it brings your stuff up, but that's the whole point, is that you're held in this safe container with other women, and you can bring all of your shit there and not feel like you have to deal with it on your own.
We do need that. What I'm going to do is we can go and check out some comments. And then when we get back to our conversation, I'm going to be asking you, and I'm sure the viewers want to know, how you got into it, what steps you take to become a priestess, and what inspired you to take this road. So before we go on to that, let's start nosing on some comments and see what people has had to say about the talk so far. And guys, disclaimer, I have my glasses on and off because the light is so bright that I need to use that. Look, you see it shining, and it's going to be annoying for you to see as well as me to see the reflection. So I take it on and off for that reason. So let's go back. Let's go all the way back. Hi, everyone that I haven't said hello to. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's see. Feel free to shout out anybody that you see on your side. Georgina. Let's see. Oops. Okay, let's try and scroll up slowly. Okay. It's mainly ways. Hi, Lee Gates TV. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What a pleasure to have you here, all the way from Jamaica.
I'm Justin Bieber, but to find oneself, time to develop, no.
And hi, Ashley. Fernando, how you doing? I'm actually going to give you a shout out at the end of this show. I intended to, so I'm interestingly that you should be here. Let me see.
What was the Justin Bieber thing? I don't get it.
Where has he gone? It's so funny the way Instagram works. They've changed how they do the live, so how I used to view things before is totally different. So I'm scrolling back down now. I'm saying hi to Elaine again.
Yes.
Oh, Elaine, not Justin Bieber. Explain, Elaine. What does that one mean?
Why is Justin Bieber?
Justin Bieber.
He had Lyme's disease. Is that what it is?
Oh, did he? Good evening to Sandy, otherwise known as Open Minds. She says, where are you? Why does the screen keep doing that? But let's try again. I think it can be very hard with women.
Stupid autocorrect. Okay, that's funny though. I'm like, okay. Justin Bieber autocorrect jumped in.
Sandy here says, sometimes I don't like myself, but I work on it. I actually believe women don't believe that the fanny wound does not belong to them. I think you read that one up before. Yeah. Elaine says, recommended books. So maybe as we go along, you can potentially recommend some books. I can leave it on, we can both write a description of it on the post. Yeah. All your lovely comments goes missing after I post this video. Instagram's so mean. So if there's any relevant things you would like to add on that you want to say or ask, please feel free that once I post the video and download it after this live, just add all your comments on what you thought of the live after on the page. I'll be so grateful. Yeah, Elaine says we need to hold each other up. We do. We really, really do. I think that
That's
Yeah, and
exactly,
it's not a weakness, it's a strength, you know?
yeah. We're stronger in numbers, and that's what we're
Absolutely.
realizing again. It's like, whoa, we're
Yeah,
not
we do.
tearing one another down. It's about building each other
Yeah.
up, and it's good for you, it's good for me, it's
Yeah.
good for everyone.
Absolutely. Good evening, Michael. How are you doing, Mr. Photographer? And Sandy says again, exactly. We give life, and I strongly believe that our values has been denied. Yes, you are right. She goes on to say again, I think it can be very hard with women as we are busy fighting against each other, of course. And that's why I posted a post on my other page last week saying, you know, women is not my competition. I stand with women, not against them,
Oh.
you know. And Elaine says again, that was me, Justin Bieber, stupid. Ah, okay. Elaine goes on to say, I'm 40 something. Why has my screen disappeared again? Don't know if we can see it on your side. Here we go. I'm 40 something. Oh, stop disappearing screen. I'm 40 something. Finally finding myself. Geez, it's taken. There's my screen gone again. Instagram, I'm going to hit you. Okay. It's disappearing every time I try to go to read a comment. Okay. Take it. It's fine. Geez, it's taken me this long, finally feeling ready to take me on. It's taken an age, but I'm here and ready, loving this. Thank you. You know,
Woo,
Elaine, I'm
yes.
so grateful for your comment. Elaine, by the way, and hope she doesn't mind me saying, she's my lovely neighbour.
Oh, hi, Elaine.
Lovely,
She lives
lovely
you next
neighbour,
door.
lovely neighbour. And it's a real honour for me to have you share a part of your heart on this live. It's so important. This is a very important conversation. Um, and so I'm really, really honoured that you would stop by, Elaine, and share part of your thoughts with us. I'm really, really, really chuffed that you've done that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's always massive when people share themselves.
Yeah, it means a lot. You know,
Yeah.
it may seem like sometimes, you know, I sit here and I'm sharing and it's like, people's like, oh my God, wow, but it's not that. There's a reason why I spill. This is not my counseling session. There's a reason why I spill because someone out there's going to be like, okay, she said it, I was thinking it, or
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to be as bold as that person. And
Yeah,
it took
yeah.
me a while
Mm-hmm.
to even get to this and everything else I do. So we're doing it collectively together. Every part that we're playing right now, the viewers, you, me, is all about empowering. And there are men on this live who's still staying with us, and they're men. Chi and Michael, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
And then she goes on to say too many things. Hang on. Oh, let's go back. She goes on to say too many things separate rather than connect when it's all about the connection. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Elaine says, girl. Namaste, my beautiful neighbor. Yeah, so let's go on to, I'm fascinated. Okay, I have to even readjust my glasses for this question, girl. I'll tell you. All right. All right. Before I go on to the sacred touching and what that means and connecting to our
Yeah.
body, I know you love all of that stuff that I see you doing in your videos. I love it. You're so free. I'd like to ask you, let's go all the way back to go forward again.
Mm-hmm.
You identify yourself as a priestess.
Mm.
What does that word mean to you? Let's start there.
Communing with source or communing
Mm.
with God. I don't call it God, but I call it source or goddess or, universal energy. It's about connecting with that and bringing it in. So that's what I do in my healing sessions. So it's as if you think about priest. A priest is someone who is channeling God for other people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a similar term. I mean, we all have that ability.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, and that's kind of what the whole point for me is reminding people that they have the priestess within them. So I do a lot of work around the priestess path, your path of your sacred priestess within
Mm-hmm.
you, because we all have that within us. And that's also what's separated us is believing that we are not connected with source energy and that someone else has the power to tell us
Yeah.
whether or not we're connected to it. So it's kind of a reclamation of that,
But allow me to ask you, growing up, and I'm sure some of you might have heard this, whenever we heard priestess, we never really quite connected it to like the church. It was almost like priestess has a connotation that mixed with being a witch.
Yeah, yeah.
Growing up. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, connecting with the wisdom, because witch, that word actually comes from wit, which means wise.
Mm-hmm.
So the wisdom, the greater wisdom and intuition
Mm-hmm.
of the world, and
Yeah.
connecting with that. So very much, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't mind if someone refers to you as a witch, even though it's not.
No, because I feel like these words have been hijacked,
A
and
lot of words have been hijacked, to be honest.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's time for us to understand the essence of that word, which is wisdom,
Mm.
and release all of the baggage. If someone wanted to call me a witch, I'd be like, fine, okay, that would take that as a compliment. Just let go of all the other crap.
That's
You know?
amazing. So okay, it's like the word ritual. I've now only become comfortable using it in the last year because ritual always went with witches. When actually rituals are things we do every day. Wake up, pray, brush your teeth,
Yeah.
exercise. That's a ritual. It's a constant practice that you do, which is a ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Within your ritualistics that you do, is there any potion making or anything like that?
For me,
Next to a little black cat, perhaps? No?
no, I'm not that kind. It's funny because there are different kinds of ways of working with this kind of energy and the intuition and the wisdom. And I'm very much about picking up what's around. I think in that way, I'm a bit more shamanic. So it's about bringing in nature and what's around. If there are some leaves, then I'll bring in some leaves into my ritual. If I will bring crystals, I have to say crystals are a big thing in my life.
I haven't latched on. With me, I'm a very vibrational person. I too are going to go on to doing that breath work and energy work and all that kind of stuff because it's a given. It's a given for my personality. In regards to, you say, bringing things in from the outdoors, what are those practices? Can you tell us a little bit about that? So for an example, what would you be remedying at the time? Would it be peace, love, happiness, or what would you be actually practicing on when you're doing these kind of rituals?
Mm-hmm. It's all, so if I'm going, so normally I do a lot outside, which is what you see the videos of me outside dancing or connecting. It's my way of communing with nature and the natural rhythms that happen within nature. So it could be that if I'm outside and there's some leaves or there's a feather that I see, it's all about communion for me. It's about what is there. And then that energy is really, it's like I'm honoring, it's always an honoring of the earth. And that's very much part of what I do with my rituals, is honoring the earth, honoring the goddess, honoring the energy, the sacred feminine energy. So that's always the intention, and the intention is always loving and supportive and nourishing. And that's kind of what I do when I'm outside. If I'm working one-to-one with someone and I'm doing a ritual or I'm bringing in things, then that will be specifically connected to them and what they're wanting to do. But if I was to say, you know, on the full moon, I'll do a ritual, and that will be a release ritual, because with the full moon, it's about releasing. So I'll bring in, you know, things that I want to release in terms of like writing down what it is that I want to let go of. You know, I've had enough of like telling myself.
And does that work? Does that tend to work for you?
Yeah. And the ritual of burning the words as well is very
yeah.
Fire is transformation.
Yeah.
And so there are these very, I don't know, it's also, you feel that you're at one with things as well when you're bringing in different elements, and
you seem extraordinary in touch with yourself. I mean, I thought I was very grounded with me, but I love the way you externalize to internalize. But before we go on, we have 2 questions from the public.
Yes.
I have a lady on the live, Anne-Marie, who wants to know, what inspired you to become a priestess, and then what was your steps that you took to establish becoming a priestess?
Yeah. So it was my inner journey. I was totally kind of went off course when I was in London. And I was drinking and I was taking drugs and I was all the thing in I don't know, from performing, if anyone knows what that's like. I mean, I don't even know how I did it, to be honest. I was so nervous. So I was kind of using, you know, drinking and drugs and things. And then I got kind of stuck. It was sticky. I wasn't feeling good.
Okay.
I was depressed. I was anxious. I was what's going on. And I went deeply into depression.
Yeah.
And I even got to the point where I was like, I don't know if I want to live anymore.
Yeah.
It got that dark. And from that point, I remember choosing, okay, well, what are you going to do then? And it was like, okay, I need to pick myself up out of this, and I need to change. And so I kind of went on this massive healing journey, and it took a long time for me to stop drinking, because that was like my biggest crutch. But yeah, I went on a really deep healing journey to connect with, you know, who I am. And I wanted to make my own way, and, you know, because I'm so connected with my truth and my expression, I really wanted to find that for myself. So I went on that healing journey, and it's kind of got me to where I am. I just kept going. Like you said, it's like every day you just keep kind of...
So allow me to probe just a little bit, and you are free to stop me when you feel like it's a bit uncomfortable for you. Is it possible for you to share at all what the triggers were, and what created that depression, and what urged you to even go on the binge of drugs and drink? And clearly you were doing music at the same time. If that's not too personal, feel free. If it isn't, we can move on.
No, that's fine. It was all this fear of not being good enough, and not being capable, and just being shit scared that people would eat me alive. You know, when you're on the stage, if you're not really confident, I didn't have that bravado. I was like 18, and just I was in a crazy relationship as well with a much older man.
Right.
A lot of stuff going on. He had a lot of kind of, you know, drinking himself. So I kind of jumped on that bandwagon with him because I was like unsure of what I was doing as well. And then that just kind of brought me deeper and deeper into that place of not knowing, not trusting myself, not feeling confident, and not feeling capable. So I just had these emotional crutches that were kind of keeping me going.
And somehow, what would you say was the epitome of that rock bottom to then find your way back up and out of it? What inspired you? What was that last straw that you said, you know what, live or die, and I'm going to choose live? How did you get out of that state?
So interesting to think about it, because even at this, I'm like, I don't know how I did that. It was, I mean, I was literally on the bed, like I was so crippled with kind of pain as well, like physical pain from alcohol, and
wow.
I was just so emotional, and I didn't know how to process it at that time. It was like I was just burying all the emotions. And yeah, I almost remember it was like a moment of my soul coming in, and that's how I can explain it, you know, the soul coming in and saying, you've got other work to do, you can do this.
Was it like a rebirth?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm very lucky that I have a really strong family, you know, and my mum especially, like I could always rely on her. So she was just there when I needed her. So I was very lucky to have that.
Very lucky.
But yeah, I was just like, right, okay, gotta get out of here. And I think because I knew my inner compass was strong still, because I kind of chosen to go into that place as well. It was like I'd chosen to go into the drinking and you know, so it was a choice. So I felt like, okay, I can get myself out of this one step at a time. And I sort of just...
Are we saying that it was based on the insecurity about not being good enough as an artist that evoked all of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and not knowing really how to be in the world as well, because that's been something that, like, from a young age, I was like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing here. Like, I don't fit in. I don't.
I've never fit in, but now I love it. Now I love it. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
it's so
And
weird.
at that
And
point,
now
being
I,
lost,
as a young
like, who are
person, I
my
would,
friends?
yeah.
Who am I? What am I even doing here? So
Mm,
those were all the things that were, yeah, always
mm,
on repeat in my head, and I felt like I was just sort of surviving most of
mm.
the time.
Well, let me take you through to the other side. Now that we've touched on that level of profound
Back
emotion,
in that now.
yeah. Let me take you back to the place that you love before we, because I'd like you to talk about your YouTube channel real quick that you're launching or have launched with your beautiful boyfriend that you lived in the woods with, all that kind of stuff. I'd like you to talk and show us how you take us through an experience of how you play the sound bowl. But before we go on to that and round it up, time is moving so quickly today.
Yeah.
I would love to go into what you love doing, which is the connection of self and the caressing and touching the body and the touching therapy. What is that about, Georgina? What's going on?
It's so
Touch
it's so
therapy. It says
exciting.
it's a 1 day of 4 days of sensual touch. Tell
Yeah.
us about that real
I
quick.
shared. So if you want to go and check it out, I actually shared 4 practices you can do, and that was the 4
Ah,
days of sensual touch.
okay.
So it's about connecting back in with your body and connecting in with your feeling body and what you like and what
And
feels
the
good
breath
to you.
and
Yeah, and it's about really sinking into your body, and it's about feeling turned on and feeling kind of lit up just by being with yourself. It's that's what it is. It's a
oh, I'm very good at doing that, Georgina. I have
okay,
no
good.
troubles
Oh, good.
with
That's
yourself.
great.
Yes. we
Because
should feel comfortable being able to like say I'm a woman or even a man, but let's just say I'm a woman and you know what you like.
mm-hmm.
And that's such a taboo. Some when I watch you, you're on. I mean, guys, check out her page. She's on her page with a rose, caressing herself on this video, and then this all of this, and I'm like, wow, she's so free. She's so liberated. You don't care what people think. You just
No,
don't
I
give a damn.
don't. No, because I know that the essence of it is truth for me. It's not like I'm trying to do it for any other reason. Like I've
Exactly.
got to that point within myself where I don't need that approval anymore. It's
Right.
also about showing up for other people who are like wanting to connect in with their body and to understand more about how to feel free within themselves. So it's these practices where we can really learn to embrace ourselves and to really connect in with our pleasure, because a lot of women who I work with, they don't know what they like. It's like they've been programmed to just only do what their partner
Yeah.
likes, or maybe they haven't taken the time to deep dive into what they like. And it all links in, because once you know what you like, you know how then to ask for what you like, and that's like in life in general.
Unapologetically, mind you.
Exactly, this is what I like,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna dim that. I'm not gonna shut that down in myself, and feel confident to say that. And connecting with your body is so important. Connecting with your pleasure is so important, and actually enjoying your body, enjoying being
100%. It's an art. But whilst you're on the topic, give us 2 minutes of when you speak about mirror gazing. What is that?
oh my gosh. So when you look into the mirror, you see yourself. And
I love it.
you can't escape yourself, in terms of it's a really powerful practice to learn to accept yourself and to love yourself and to appreciate your body. So say you were standing in the mirror and you're moving your body and you're stroking your body and you're like, oh my God, look at me. It's like, it's about being able to appreciate yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing that, you're not in touch with yourself, you're not in touch with your body. So it's a really powerful practice to start to actually like be like, oh, I like this part of me, and look at me, and like to look at yourself from another perspective. And
100%.
you can see where you're feeling maybe actually vulnerable as well, and that's okay. Like you can go through a process where you every day you're looking in the mirror, and it helps you to see things about yourself so that you can then let go of them. It's powerful
100%.
transmuting things. So you're meeting yourself, because if you don't look in the mirror, then you don't know
Really look in the mirror. Yeah. Yeah,
literally.
that's amazing. Well, whilst you're, you know, Georgina, I would love to do two more things with you before you leave today. And one would be, I'm going to just quickly read through the comments because I'm going to lose it once we post this. Then I would love for you to play some of your soundboard and talk us through that. And lastly, just let everyone know about your new launched YouTube channel with your lovely boyfriend that you lived in the woods with. Maybe we've got time to even discuss that in 10 minutes. All in 10 minutes.
Okay.
So let's go. Let's go. Let's read some comments. Someone's posted a question. Let me see what it is. Oh, Sandy says, have you had anyone that never connected? I guess she's referring to maybe what the workshop that Georgina does.
Oh, what people that... No, people only...
I'd like to emphasize your question a bit more so we understand it, Sandy. Connected to who? Themselves after the workshop, or connected to Georgina? What are we asking? Let me see. Let's go down. Let's go down. What am I seeing? Or is that just comments that are floating up and down the same ones? Let's have a look.
What was it? So if what afterwards they weren't connected to themselves after the...
That's what I'm going to ask her to fine tune. Well, she goes on to say, I think as we get older, we learn for ourselves. If we had to look at the history of burning witches, back to the witches, but we were bowing down to men. Okay, very true. And hello to Monica, who is with us. Let's see. Elaine goes on to say, life experiences shows us the light highs and the lows. Absolutely. And Elaine also goes on to saying that not fighting in clashes a lot, managing the expectations of others is heavy. Absolutely. She says, hi, Silver, I can help you with the touch. Unfortunately, you can't, because I don't think my new boyfriend would like that very much.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, she's funny. Was he joking or was I, is the question.
Yeah.
Chi, were you joking or was I in response? Okay. Sandy says, I think it's not that we don't care. It's more that we are not going to allow your opinions to dictate my life. When I look in the mirror, I see the true reflection of who I am. Themselves. Yep. She says, back up, new what? Sandy says, back up, new who? Girl, listen to me. Yeah. Can I just say for the record, for those who get confused, I'm a woman that would say that I'm single and could be dating someone for a year. Because a disclaimer, because transitions are different with different people. You may meet somebody, Georgina, and within 2 months, you just know. So maybe your family meets them, maybe your brother meets them, and maybe it might take 2 years where you're just dating, hanging out, and it's not that serious. Yeah? You know what I mean? Depends on who you are. So yeah, I had to give Chi that disclaimer. I know you're not joking, you said, Chi? Okay.
It's hot and heavy in this space.
Sandy says, direct message. Listen to me. Ultimately, you guys know that I'm all about dating myself. That's why I always speak like this, and people don't know whether I'm ever single or not, really. Because I'm always dating myself, whether I'm single or not. And it's that practice of always working on myself. Whether I'm with someone, I'm still going to take myself for dinner, cinema, spas, pack a bag, go to a hotel. I still do these things. So I'm very always self-sufficient with the body, as we talk about as well. Yeah? Yeah. Girl. Georgina, play us that soundboard, girl.
Let me grab it. It's here.
But yes, Sandy says, what? DM? Girl. Sandy, you heard my new post today, right? Okay, go back, listen to the post on my other page. You'll hear the voice for yourself.
Here's a little one. Let's hear it. Hey G,
talk us through the soundboard for a moment.
Thank you. Saying my aura is beautiful.
She's totally beautiful. This is what I'm saying.
I like the way that you've written aura, like aura.
Yeah, being in tune with yourself, Elaine says. Absolutely. Yeah. So talk us through the sound bowl. I've just bought my first sound bowl about a month ago, and I love it. It works for me. I haven't got into the whole chakra thing yet. Everything's not for everyone. I mean, the whole crystals, but yeah. I love the sound bowl. So talk us through the sound bowl and give us a demonstration of what you like to do.
Let's hear it first, because then you'll be able to understand it more when I explain it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, you listening?
I'll play it. If you can close down your eyes, you can open your heart, you can do as you wish to receive sound.
Go for it. I love it. I'm going to close my eyes.
Okay. Oh, and you can take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath, guys. Come on, join in. Join in. Please feel free.
You may feel like you've just completely reset, like your mind has stopped working, the chatter, and you feel still and peaceful. And that is really what the sound does. It brings you back to the present moment, and it releases anything that may be clouding your peace. So we can even feel it energetically. We just built all of that energy, hadn't we? And we were all doing it together.
Exactly. My eyes are still closing. That's lovely. Can you show everyone your sound bowl?
This is the smallest one I have. I have 8 of them, I think.
Would you mind like showing them what the striker looks like for those who haven't seen one, and what that and how you go around it? Just give it a quick little so they can see for those who, okay.
Well, this one you just simply play it like ding.
Oh, so you don't circulate with that one. Okay.
Some of them you can do that, but these ones I prefer to play it like that because I find the vibration stronger. Then if you play it like that, it kind of goes, and I don't know. For me, I just prefer.
Okay, it's very Tibetan. Wow, Georgina, that was such a lovely moment. I've got one last question for you before you then go on to telling us about your new YouTube channel. What was it like being on Free Flame Thoughts this evening for you and me being your co-pilot?
I've loved it. We've had fun as well as got some really good.
Oh my goodness, you're in London. We so got to hang out at some point. You do know that, don't you?
I know.
You do know this is inevitable, yeah? Okay.
Thank you. It's been great, and it's been also great just to have some questions as well, and to like look into my journey and to share it. It's always such a gift and a blessing to be able to do that. So thank you.
Yeah, that's wonderful. As said, and I always say to people, different people come on, whether you are a professional or not, and my purpose for being here is about soul connectivity. So even if you were a billionaire and was the most famous person, I wouldn't even talk about it to the very end, because I'm all about unlayering, unlacing, then building it back up and having this climax of, okay, so where are we now? And I always go away with deep reflection when I come up these lives, because I really am about soul connectivity. This is one of my greatest purposes, and so this is the reason why I do it. And I go all the way back to childhood, because everything starts from childhood. Why we are the way we are, why we think the way we think, the sexual desires we like or not, everything's childhood. So it's been amazing. But before you disappear, please tell us about your new YouTube channel that you have launched with your lovely boyfriend.
Yes, so it's called G&T Conversations, and we talk all things really, because we came together, and it was kind of, I mean, it's just the most amazing relationship I've experienced, because we've gone at everything together. You know, we've stayed with one another, we've worked through so much emotional stuff, And it's now, we have a lot to share about that process and life in general. And also we like to talk. So it's a great thing to do when you like to have creative conversations like this. You know, it's about what's going on in the world. It's about what we've experienced and sharing it. And hopefully inspiring and supporting other people. So it's called GT Conversations on YouTube. And also it's balanced. It's nice because it's, you know, man and women and, you know, all of that. So it kind of, it feels balanced and fun. And yeah, I mean, you'll see. Go and check it out.
Oh, I'm definitely going to check it out. I want you to share it with them, these guys, and anyone that wants to get hold of Georgina, then please, like, she's going to be linked into this post straight after I post it. Last comments, what do we have, especially about the Fanny? Are you on this Fanny thing? What is it about this Fanny?
Fanny. Like, I never call it
That's Sandy. Doesn't get rawer than that. Sandy's very straight and in touch with herself, especially about the Fanny cleansing. I just bought my first Yoni steaming bowl, for those who don't know. Listen to me, guys. Let me tell you. Okay, talking about the vagina here. I have got into the steaming. It's like a little potty. You sit on it, you boil the herbs, you put the herbs in, and it steams your vagina. And let me tell you, I've had a vaginal facelift. It feels like a new girl down there. I'm pretty much a virgin again.
It's so good for you. I mean, that's.
Let me tell you, girl. Let me tell you. And you know what? We shouldn't be embarrassed to talk about these things. We talk about everything else. So get into the Yoni steaming. It's amazing. In fact, I might have one now.
It's ancient. It's ancient medicine.
Yeah, it's ancient. I've been seeing Africans do it for so long over stick fires and stuff. So, yeah, guys, thank you.
Wait, just one question. How did they do it? Over fire?
They had like stick fires. When they're on their menstrual, I wondered what they do because they didn't use any sanitary towels. And I witnessed them, this program called Tribe. And they were over like stick fires and herbs and they just sat over it. And at the time, I'm like, whoa. But they knew what they were doing. We were just way behind.
I know, well, that's the thing we forgot.
We're way behind. Yeah. What's your comment? Pum steam. Yes. And guess what? I won't even tell you what's happening to mine after my steam.
Alive again. You've been
alive. I'm having a rebirth. Yeah. Trust me. But guys, any other comments? I'd love for you to add it on this post once I post it down. Georgina will be linked in the comments box, so you can find her and get hold of her YouTubes and all this kind of stuff. Georgina, once I download it, please feel free to add your YouTube channel in bold so everyone can find you. Georgina, you have been amazing. What a free spirit. I've loved having you here. Do come back, and also maybe after next week Wednesday we have Georgina's friend Eva who's coming to have a talk with me, and maybe later on you can both come on.
Yeah.
And then you and your boyfriend and everyone just have a turn, and we just have one big happy. Everyone come, yeah. So exactly that, Georgina. You have been amazing. Shanti and Namaste. Thank you so much for being present. We love and appreciate you. And guys, if you've loved this live and you've just loved Georgina, please send us some hearts before I close this talk officially. I'd like some hearts. I'm going to send a heart myself. I'm going to send two.
I send a heart. I want to send
one for Georgina, one for me, and then I'm going to send some to all of you guys that stayed with us, and also to the men that chose to sit through quite an empowering female conversation. So I'm really, really, really loving that. Thank you, Chief, for always supporting. I really appreciate you. Oh, thank you.
I love it. And if anyone has any questions that they burningly want me to ask,
any questions Instagram normally gives us an hour and it'll cut off, but let's see. Ask quick questions to Georgina and hopefully we don't get disconnected. Any last questions?
It was, how do you feel mentally after the womb clearing? So it helps you to free up energy, and it helps you to establish new ways of looking at yourself as well. It's all energy based. So when you clear the energy, you clear the thought forms, you clear the ways in which you were relating to yourself before, so that you can welcome in new energies and new belief systems. So it's also a very supportive supportive healing, because it's not all just about the energy. There will be emotional support as well.
Yeah.
It's about really opening up a new way of thinking about yourself and believing in yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely that. Wow. Any other questions for Georgina before she goes? Go for it.
Anything else? I'm really interested in hearing about the African tribal ways.
I'll try. Yeah, do look it up.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I love watching Tribe. I haven't done for a long time, but you just learn so much ancient stuff that things that we cringe about. But yeah, all of these things we're talking about has stemmed from there, you know, Africa or Asia or, you know, so it's amazing. Guys, I have a quick announcement before we go. Thursday, which should have been last Thursday, but I wasn't, sorry, Friday, this coming Friday, which should have been last Friday, I wasn't well. Yeah, ambulance, everything, hospital, everything, but I'm okay now. Yeah, so I had to cancel last week's lives. So Friday, what do I keep saying Thursday? Friday coming, I'm going to be doing Gate Crash. People seem to love this Gate Crash, where basically it's not a one-to-one like Georgina, which I'm trying to do on Wednesdays. Gate Crashes are going to be more where people come in when they want, and I chuck you off when someone else comes in, and we rotate and have fun. So I decided to have one called Bedroom Dramas with a Z on Friday. Please turn up in your lingerie when you Gate Crash. Lingerie, pajamas, onesies, nightcaps. I actually don't care, but I will be sat here in a nightdress, just preparing you. And I may pop out knickers and vibrators while I'm here. So if you dare.
It's all happening.
Yeah, it's all happening. You know what it is? Let's switch it up a little bit. I'm such a deep spirit that, you know, let me share some of my on my other side. So guys, come along. Anne-Marie, bring that headscarf, girl, if you don't want to wear anything sexy. And when you do your Gate Crash, just come in. Have your tea, have your wine. Literally, we're having a pajama party, okay? And if it works out, I've been asked to do a Zoom where people really want to get a little bit freaky behind the scenes.
Oh, freaky behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Wow, watch out.
So, yeah, conversation, of course, only. Yeah. Things that people really want to talk about or really want to ask for. And then in December, maybe the end of December, I actually want to do one where I do London Zoom dating. So whoever's in London, let's just all do a Zoom and see who's single, swap numbers. Who cares? Come on, let's meet, connect, love, fall out. Who cares? Just be. Who's up for it?
Co-creativity is the way to connect again. Make it fun.
Chi, did you say don't bring the boyfriend? Chi, are you being mean?
He is funny.
Chi's lovely. Chi is a professional optician with his own shop in East London. He does hair. Chi is an amazing spirit. An amazing, amazing spirit. So thank you, Chi. Thanks, everyone. And I'll see you on Friday, God willing, on the Bedroom Dramas, conversations, all things bedroom. See ya. Peace.
Bye.